This is the prologue to Painkiller Ghosts. She had brown eyes, but that was years ago. There was a time before he was shot again, before chastity was framed in his camera's lens, before that no-name body fell from the sky seemingly, when he was Timothy, and he was in love, but in need of help, of direction, but that was years ago. They had a past, there was pillow talk about the future, and they felt healthy. He remembers that feeling. Her name was Maria, and she had brown eyes, but that was years ago. The first thing she told him about herself was, "I love water that tastes like purple French roses." But that was a long time ago, and now, looking back, he can't remember her ever drinking rose-flavored water, but definitely purple French red wine. She had brown eyes years ago. This is 5 minutes ago. 2 years ago, she's dead. This is 10 minutes ago, 2 years ago, and she's dying. She's counting tiles on the floor, off by one. She's on the floor. She's sinking into the linoleum, barely feeling the echoes of her heartbeat. She's confused, but she knows she's in her home. A new echo in her ear moans, confusing her more, and she's trying to count the floor tiles. She's off by one, then two. The floor feels warm, and then doesn't feel at all. She's feeling good. It was too much this time. She's on the floor that used to be white, but then became tan over time and is now stained brown with just a white footprint next to the sink. She's dropped a needle onto the floor. She's looking at the dead bulbs, but not really seeing them. She died counting the tiles on the brown floor and was off by one, two. She couldn't remember what color eyes he had. She couldn't remember their dog died months ago. He is in there barefoot in the living room, stumbling, numb. He's stumbling, breaking an ashtray. He has burns on his fingers, sores, jagged toenails. He's got cobweb hair. He's a bearded, skinny skeleton in a shirt 3 pennies poor. He's thinking a little about the dog, the one that's gone. He remembers what color eyes the dog had. He knows what color eyes Maria had. He goes to the front door, stumbles near it, closes his eyes for a second, two, and then makes sure the bolt is latched. Constantly, the bolt is latched. Someone is in the hall, waiting for him, waiting to get in. 100 are waiting. He hears breathing, footsteps. 1,000 are waiting. He hears them, shadows hiss. He hasn't left in days, old calendars. He has blue eyes, red and blue. He's on the sofa again, dust on the cushions. The television is on, dust on the screen. He does it and wants to do it again, sweet dizziness. When does the dog get fed? Memories melt. He can still hear that jingle, the jingle of the tags on the collar, that dirty collar, the one that he had buried with the dog months ago. Months and months ago, death melts. He looks at his watch, although he doesn't care what time it is. It wouldn't matter anyway. He's wearing a dead watch. She gave it to him, and the battery died when the dog died, and he hasn't taken it off since. Time melts. He finally goes into the bathroom in the morning, dusts in the shower. He's blinded briefly by the bulbs, and then he sees her on the floor. His life. He doesn't cry, dehydration. He turns the lights out, 2 bulbs. He goes to the phone, his hands are shaking. He calls the emergency number ingrained since childhood. He tries to talk, but coughs. It's a little blood. She had brown eyes, but that was years ago. His, now red. Then he leaves their apartment, leaving the bolt unlatched for the first time. He leaves and wanders around aimlessly and ends up at a friend's apartment. He sits down. Hours pass by. Days pass by. Weeks pass and he's weak and sick. Weeks pass by and he goes to his mother's house. He's a mess. He goes home to kick. To sweat in the bed he used to sleep in when his blue eyes were blue and clear, but now they're red and blue, with a little white, like a tattered American flag. That was 2 years ago, and now he can't remember if her breath used to smell like rose-flavored water or not, but he likes to pretend that it did.